So this mural is about resilience, and when you think of trees, when you think of community, a lot of the times trees kind of symbolize that through having a lot of layers of skin. Every single year there's new bark that's added to it. There's a lot of roots that run deep. And so I was kind of thinking from the history of trees and the history of the Chinese banyan tree as a very big symbol of resilience in Hong Kong. And especially in this community, there is a feng shui shu that's in the heart of the community. And I kind of wanted to pull from that symbolism and from that idea and have it as the heart of the mural. And from branching out of just the foundations with this community, I wanted to explore stories through telling it in the form of leaves. So I used relief prints and had community volunteers to handprint their own stories and their own, to handprint onto the stories so that they're able to actively partake in the storytelling of the community and the history and the stories that are already existing, because stories are continuous, that they continue to be added on and continue to grow. So from reflecting on the stories that and the legacies that this community has gone through, I wanted to represent it in the form of happy stories, like how before there used to be barber shops, there were bamboo steamer factories, noodle factories, but also some of the sadder aspects of the stories, such as refugees, dog displacement, and I kind of wanted to incorporate all of those sides because I think these are all the stories that helped build the community to be what it is today. And then in addition to that, on the bottom of the mural, I had Ken's dogs, GYan and Joey to represent the continuous collection of stories, because even though I wanted to tell as much as I could, there are a lot of stories that I couldn't encapsulate, stories that might be forgotten, but we're still trying to find and remember them. And so I really wanted to showcase that through the act of continuous documentation, which is what Joey is doing by searching for the branches, and GYan is doing by uplifting the stories, even when GYan is no longer present with us today. And then I also wanted to include, I guess, an actual foundation. So I had the volunteers draw the rocks for the bottom of it because I wanted to give them a little bit of freedom and creativity, because the stories that they're drawing and they're writing, they're actively partaking in the creation of what this community is. That without having other people supporting, this community would not be as strong as it is today, and the story that I'm trying to tell would not be as strong as well. And then additional to that, I also wanted to incorporate two birds. The haminpelo is a symbol. It's a very big symbol in Hong Kong actually, but a deeper symbolism of it is that these birds symbolize ecological efforts and I guess environmental protection, because they are an endangered species in Hong Kong. And so I kind of wanted to pull from that symbolism in that story as well to further amplify the importance of I guess the preservation of history. And then as a pair, they kind of also symbolize community and togetherness. I think the most difficult part of the mural is the part where I had to draw GYan, because that is Ken's dog, late dog, and that part of the symbolism actually was very, I guess, I thought it through very deeply, because leaves fall from trees. There's a lot of things that are lost in present day memory, because histories are told by certain people, and so others may not be able to tell their personal stories. And so I really wanted to refine and make the storytelling right when I was trying to draw GYan, because not only have I personally have never seen GYan before, I just really wanted to make sure that I was getting it as accurate as possible. I hope that the mural, sparks a discussion where people can kind of consider, that this isn't just land, right? Like that people have lived here before, that there are people who have experienced lives here. And I think that was something that I really wanted to, share in my storytelling, because I think it's very easy for us to just look at a community, and when we're not part of it, kind of glaze over it, because we're kind of that's not my own story, that's not really something that I've experienced. But through this mural, I want people to kind of think a little bit about that, think about how their stories are told within their communities, and also how maybe other communities are experiencing different things, whether it's hardship or positives and wins and achievements, etc.
Okay.
So this is a more, focused on refugees and the displacement of families. A lot of people had to move because, well suited for them, or they're not able to live in this area anymore. And as a result, not only are they leaving some of their memories, they're leaving some family members who aren't able to follow them as well, which kind of follows into this as well, because through moving and having to be evicted from this area, a lot of dogs also couldn't follow with their owners, and so a lot of them are displaced, and a lot of them, it's just a very sad story in general. So these two are concentrated more so regarding about leaving, and about the tragedy of not the tragedy of families and having to separate from people that you love and things that you care about. This kind of falls on a similar vein. However, it kind of talks more particularly about a story that happened in the village where two dogs were found in a cardboard box in the rain, and luckily the person who found them took them in and cared for them. But that was also a story that I wanted to share, that maybe they're just a bit of the lucky ones that they're able to find a home. This talks about the pigeon farms. So many years ago, there used to be pigeon farms here, but over the years, pigeons and the need for domestic pigeons kind of declined, and so a lot of changes were kind of brought out in the demand of what people wanted, and pigeons were no longer one of those commodities, and so I kind of wanted to also share that a little bit, because I think it's a bit of a unique story. In the center of the tree, I have a lot of fruits that are very, prized and valued within the community. Even if you just walk around quickly, you'll see a lot of these fruits and trees itself. So this is a phoenix eye fruit, and apparently it tastes like chestnuts. I've never had it, but I wanted to kind of share that a little bit. And then here's some lychee fruit, this is a jackfruit, and then this is a gak fruit. A gak fruit it looks a little bit like durian, except very red and very succulent, and there's 6 in this community, and so I kind of wanted to highlight that because it's more of a rare fruit. In the center, as you can see here, is a tree. This is the banyan tree that I mentioned briefly, and you can also see a lot of the roots and the veins kind of circle around, because this is the kind of tree that grows on top of itself, that stories are always accumulating, and that it's not just one story to be told. There's several stories and several different branches that it kind of lends itself. And then you can also see on the bottom from that end, there's some rocks that the community members have painted, and it kind of extends past into the other side of the mural as well. And so in this part, this is This is Kyte Lai, and then this is GYan. And so, as I briefly mentioned earlier, Joey is looking for lost branches. He's picking it up. He's bringing it to attention, whereas GYan is kind of uplifting and holding on to all of these branches and these stories. GYan's actually holding an A bucket, which is a very nostalgic brand in Hong Kong, and so people who have lived here in the past, they might resonate a little bit with it because it kind of pulls into some, I guess, forgotten memories. So we see here, this is a here's a bug here, but this refers to the koi pond. There used to be a fish farm here as well, where they grew and had koi fish. So I kind of wanted to share that a little bit. This is referring to the farmlands and all the produce that was harvested and cultivated from it. So we have a little bit of carrots, lettuce, beets, flowers, and this talks more about the farm animals. And so I kind of drew chickens, pigs, poultry, a little bit of eggs going on as well. And then as you see on the bottom, these are the birds I had briefly mentioned. Okay, so this is, I guess, talking about ecological preservation. This talks about the noodle shop that used to be here. There used to be a noodle factory where they will make noodles and dry noodles, so that they could be sent out and packaged. These ones are also stores, so this was referring to a barber shop, this is referring to a bike repair shop, and then the bamboo steamer factory. We have a little leaf over there with some of the volunteers' names and signatures, because they were the ones that had hand printed onto the leaves. And then, yeah, so this, as you see on the bottom also, there's also a continuation of the rocks that the volunteers had painted themselves. I guess another thing I wanted to add is that that this tree is set against a backdrop of trees. So I kind of wanted to pull from the idea and concept as well of a more, I guess, 3D looking mural, because I wanted to encapsulate nature's beauty and also how we can use it and lend itself into the storytelling as well, because this is alive, right? These trees, they are things that are actively growing and in itself actually tell the story of the mural as well. So that was a little highlight I wanted to share.